Back at it, uSports, Central Adam Deal. Going solo today, no Charles Ashley. Business trip to D.C. What is that? It's March Madness time. Don't worry, we got a big cast up ahead of us. We're going to go over bracketology right now, and a little bit later, we're going to have Scott Galetti come on, and he'll go over bracketology with me. And don't worry, ladies, we've got you covered too as well. In the timeout segment, we got some 6A bracketology for you as well. First thing I want to go over real quick criteria as we're going to break down what we think is the top 16 teams into this field going into the seeding and selection show, which you could catch right here on uSports Network at 5:30 on Sunday. We're the first to release these brackets, so make sure you check in with us at ProViewNetworks.com. Listen, finish in regular season play, the first criteria. Second is head-to-head. The third is wins against champions, regardless of classification. That's district champs. Could be 3A, 4A. Doesn't matter if they're a district champ. It counts. Overall record, that comes into play. Max Preps, Freeman rankings, and then member school input, meaning the coaches will fill out 1 through 16 who they think should be in the field, and then the NMAA will take that into consideration. Now, there's a lot of gray area in that we don't know about, so we've got to project right around that, and a lot has to do with Max Preps because tiebreaker rule, if two teams have 2 wins in this criteria field, it will go to the tiebreaker, which is Max Preps rankings. So the most important criteria, no doubt about it, is those Freeman rankings. So let's get to what we actually think is the top 16. And based off of these seedings in this criteria, there's no doubt in our minds. Down south, you can celebrate it. The Hobbs Eagles, regardless of what's going to happen here in the future, they are going to take your number 1 seed. A great job. They're doing a fantastic season. District champs against Carlsbad. The reason why they jumped Cleveland, in my mind, they've got the best record. They have 2 extra wins over Cleveland High School. They win that. In Max Preps, they win that. Their ranking is ahead of Cleveland. There is no head-to-head. They're both district champs. And so then the tiebreaker goes to Hobbs because Max Preps rankings over Cleveland, even though Cleveland has more district champ wins. The coaches poll is unknown. It will not come into play here. No doubt in our mind it's Hobbs. The second seed then obviously would be the Cleveland Storm. Nobody else competes with them in that area. So the Cleveland Storm going to take into number 2 in the seedings. You look at number 3, and there was some debate as to where Rio Rancho can be number 3 or Carlsbad can be number 3. If you go down the criteria list, it's clear to us, unless Rio Rancho wins the coaches poll vote, every other criteria looks like it's going to go to Carlsbad. Rio Rancho does have more district championship wins, but the Rams flying high. Brady Patterson's been huge. You know that. Look at that. A mid-range jump like nobody else in the game. He can shoot from 3. He can do it all. Cleveland, they do have a Max Prep ranking over Carlsbad, but in the end, Carlsbad's district championship is what's going to give them more criteria. Now, listen, if the coaches poll comes out and says Carlsbad is ahead of Rio Rancho in the coaches poll, they'll win. If Rio Rancho is ahead of Carlsbad in the coaches poll, then Rio Rancho will jump to that 3 seed. So it will depend on that coaches poll at the end of the year. Right now, we're just projecting it to be Carlsbad. It could switch either way, but we have Rio Rancho at 4. Slotting in at number 5, it is the Valley Vikings. The Vikings having a fantastic season, winners of District 5 of 6A. Valley, the reason why they jump ahead of Albuquerque High is because they beat them in district play. They have to be ahead of them in district play, into the state tournament. They jump ahead of Volcano Vista because both of them split in the regular season. No one has the head-to-head. That means Valley has a higher Max Prep ranking. They are a district champ. Volcano Vista is not. Tiebreaker goes to Max Prep ranking. Therefore, Valley is going to be ranked higher than Volcano Vista. The Valley Vikings, a lot of people didn't understand the type of talent they have. How about Idiaki, one of the better players that nobody's talking in the state? I think if you told Coach Coleman you're going to be a 5 seed at the beginning of the season, he would have said, no way. Christian Padilla, again, Idiaki, those players having a monster year. So those the first 5. Now, we mentioned Volcano Vista loses in the tiebreaker to Valley. Well, then why isn't Volcano Vista right after Valley? Well, let me tell you why. Albuquerque High School may have one of the best resumes in the state. In fact, they would be seeded 3rd. They have the most district championship wins. They have the highest Max Prep ranking. They have head-to-head wins against almost everybody. The problem is, because they finished behind Valley in district play, by rule, Albuquerque High has to be seeded lower than them. They beat Volcano Vista easily and will jump them. They'll get the 6th seed. as of now. Now listen, all this can change because of district tournaments going on throughout this week. Who knows? Albuquerque High, they've got to get a lot of inside game, more consistency. But Tommy Holtry, the outside shooters like that, hitting three-pointers, this is why this team is so dangerous. Gabe Bump right there, maybe one of the better junior guards in the state, along with Alonzo Armijo. Albuquerque High has been consistent. They went 4-4 in their district. That is why they're going to be placed where they're at. They'll be number 6. So that obviously then leaves Volcano Vista out of District 1 6A. They tied for second place in the district against Rio Rancho. So Volcano Vista is going to be the 7th seed. Now listen, a lot of people are going to be saying, you're crazy, Adam. Volcano Vista beat Rio Rancho twice. They got the 2 seed in the tournament. None of that matters. Officially, Rio Rancho and Volcano Vista have now tied in district play. The seeding and selection committee can take either one of those ahead of each other into the state tournament. We mentioned Rio Rancho's max prep rankings and all their district championship wins against other opponents is why they jump everybody. So Volcano Vista is going to go 7. Let me tell you this, a lot of people might be disagreeing with this. West Mesa, though, going to get that last home game. They beat the tiebreaker against Las Cruces and Sandia. They hold head-to-head wins against both of them. Their max preps ranking is ahead of both of them. And this is why they will be that 8 seed. Las Cruces is going to be behind Sandia, as Sandia is going to get the 9. But West Mesa Mustangs, regardless of what they do tomorrow night against Albuquerque High in that semifinals, they're going to get a home game because of their criteria wins over Sandia and Las Cruces. Also, West Mesa has 3 wins against district champion opponents this year, one of them being Carlsbad, which is why their max prep ranking is so high. So I know Sandia is a district champion. I know that Las Cruces is a district champion. None of it will matter because West Mesa wins most of those tiebreakers. Sandia will jump Las Cruces because the Sandia Matadors tie as district champs. They have the head-to-head win at Las Cruces, and they're ranked higher in max preps. They win most of the criteria, so Sandia will be ahead of Las Cruces, at least as of now, going into the state tournament. That puts the Las Cruces Bulldogs at a 10 seed. The rest of this, we're going to run down for you, and we're going to show you who's in, who's out. The bubble is pretty interesting in just a little bit as Scott Galletti is going to come on. Scott Galletti also has a monster game to call. He's got that 5-6A championship title game of the district championship at Valley. Will it be Albuquerque? Will it be West Mesa? We'll find out. And remember, a little bit later, we've got the Cool Springs Trampoline Park Player of the Week. Steve Davis is going to come on to talk about that. And girls 6A bracketology. All of it is right here. And don't forget Sunday, the Seating and Selection Show right here, uSports Network, 5:30. You're not going to want to miss any of that action. Come on back. It's uSports Central.